Okay, then watch this video for Tuesday, December 12th, another strong day in the market. Let's go into the watch list for Tuesday. Ready? YTEN had a massive volume move today from, I don't know, almost $2 to almost $8.50 before settling in at $5.53. You can see this thing's made a couple crazy moves in the past, however far. We're going back about a year here. It's worth watching. You know, after this move this day, it gapped up and ran first. The same thing here before reversing. So there may be a trade in it tomorrow. I never want to teach people to ever chase. You know, I don't want to join a crowd trying to make easy money tomorrow morning. But sometimes after that, you do get a low risk setup and you can kind of catch a quick second wave. So we'll see. Keep in mind, everything I trade is, you know, based on recent action, meaning like recent days, but also, or a morning gap that day, right, on fresh news, but also on intraday setups. And I only take stuff, as you guys know by now, if you've watched me at all, at what I call inflection points. We've done a free webinar on it. Stuff that should, with catalysts above. Inflection point entry, stacked catalysts above, that should start falling like dominoes, because I like to be green right away. One of the biggest problems in trading is when you take a trade and you're immediately red, and all of a sudden you're going, man, what do I do? I can't lose $200 in 5 minutes. I'll feel like too much of an idiot. Maybe I should just buy more, lower my averages. So if you buy right, you take all of that out of there. Okay, you take all that out of the equation, and it's fun when your only problem is how to scale out into strength. Okay, so that's what our entire course and everything is based on. Basically, entering at inflection points based on the recent chart and catalysts above that should start falling like dominoes. All right, so if you can sit in cash and lessen until you have a setup like that, your trading will improve vastly. Again, not trying to jinx myself, but no red days in November, and so far no red days in December, and I have actively traded every day both of those months. All right, so anyway, I have Grow on watch too, G-R-O-W. Now keep in mind, a lot of these I'm showing you are absolutely extended in the short term. But, you know, if I'm watching 10 of them like this and one of them gives me a setup tomorrow, I can get my daily goal on that one. So, but all of these should probably be watched, you know, for the next several days. So all of the what you call stocks related to crypto just ripped today, okay? And GROW is one. Matter of fact, Wayne called this today in our chat room right over this. Look at this. Right over this 4-candle high. These are 5-minute candles. His idea was over 425 actually, so 426. And the thing ends up going up over $1 from there, which is a big percentage move on a $4 stock. 20 cents risk that never came close to stopping out. Great call by Wayne. Goes back on watch tomorrow. A lot of these you're going to see are just cryptos that made big moves, and we're going to watch them all week. Tomorrow may be, you know, too soon for an entry in any of them, but we'll see. We'll see if we get a proper setup. ASTC, I'm not in love with this one, but after this big pop and then a red day and then kind of a nice secondary pop, if I switch to 15s, you'll notice we got, this was the opening candle 3 sessions ago, 2 sessions ago, and today. All 3 of these last few days, it has not broken its opening 15-minute high. All right, there's the opening 15-minute high. Or I should say opening 30-minute high. Basically, what I'm looking for is an afternoon breakout in this thing, and I think then it might curve up nicely. So it's on watch, but I'm not in love with it. All right, MARA, just another crypto with a strong day. Goes on watch tomorrow. Same thing with SSC. So I don't really need to go into these charts again. They're all short-term extended. This is not a crypto. This is SNSS, a pharmaceutical. Actually closed pretty strong. So that's another one. Maybe a red to green in any of these. We'll see. PTI, I would say not that interesting, but actually it is kind of interesting with this volume spike. And then if it breaks 3 one of these days, but that's not why it's on watch. It's on watch because in after hours it's trading at 420 right now, all the way up here. They had good news after hours. So we'll see. I'll put it on a chart, see if we can get a gap and go setup tomorrow. NETE got some crypto-related news. Let's go to 5-minute candles, which you can see it popped, halted, popped again, and then spent the rest of the day coming down and then grinding sideways. So it gave back a lot of the pop. A lot of times when you get an initial pop and then, you know, news starts filtering around and people start deciding, hey, this isn't what that news headline sounded, and so they round trip. Well, this one didn't round trip, but it also didn't hold up that well. So for that reason, I'm going to watch it. A lot of people will have time tonight to parse through information and see if maybe this is worth following up on and watching the rest of the week. If we get a low risk setup, it might get a nice secondary pop. You know, that's pretty good volume, and it's a pretty low float stock. So RSYS had this big volume day what, 4 sessions ago. Actually traded 16 million shares, gapped up a little bit the next day. Sellers came in, but it's really held support and a little bit of extra volume today. So this one kind of looks good for a potential long tomorrow with a proper setup. MYSZ. This is an Israeli stock that, look at this chart. I mean, every time it runs, it gets slapped right down, right? Here, 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 here. But you know what? It gapped up today and sold off like it always is, but it's curling up. So I kind of like this through $1 tomorrow if that happens. You know, today's high was 98 cents, a little bit of extra volume. If it gets through that, maybe it's finally ready to turn. There it is on 60. So you kind of picture it up over $1. Maybe we challenge that high from however long ago it was, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. All right, so I'm going to watch it. So it's certainly not my favorite, but I think it's worth watching. This CVO, you had this huge volume day here. Well, huge volume, relatively speaking, for that stock. That was 7 million shares. Went from 77 cents to $1.60. Came back down. It's really been holding the dollar support. Made kind of both of these days, it made an attempt to kind of break back out and maybe retest this, but not really following through. The most recent high is $1.19 3 sessions ago. Going to 15-minute candles here. So I don't know. I kind of like it over today's high, maybe over $1.10. That might be enough to get this thing going. But you had a spike here, here, and then a kind of really nice volume here. And it seems like something's trying to get brewing. I don't have any kind of, hey, here's a great price. If it breaks this price, it's going to go. I really did like it when it looked like this over this day, and it just never did really get going. But you know what? It's holding up okay. So it doesn't cost me anything to have that one on a chart. MRNS, you know, from closing right here at 619, it gapped up. So from 619, it went to 890 the very next day. And now we're 2 days lower on declining volume, settling in at 739, kind of right at the 8-day. Still, you know, this was on Bounce Watch for today. There were no setups in it, right? This is just another example of doesn't cost me anything to have something on a chart, right? So it goes back on Bounce Watch tomorrow. I like it. You know, anytime you get another red day, because you really do want it to come back down, kind of what we call the buy zone between the 8 and the 20. Anytime you get a couple days down on declining volume, it's a much better setup than just coming into today where you just had the one red day. So I do like this one a lot. CUR, just another lower high today, kind of hanging out right around the 8-day. We'll see. Maybe back through 2 tomorrow. We'll watch it. All right, see if it gives us a low risk setup. And I went ahead and threw this LMFA on watch again. You know, you've had these big pops, and now you're 2 days, 2 red days on almost no volume today. So this one, again, it's kind of coming down to the 8-day. This one might turn back up tomorrow. Not in love with that one either by any stretch. You know what? That's plenty to watch, probably more than I can handle, especially when we add the gappers in the morning to our watch list. So I'll tell you what, enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a good night.